Right, today I'm going to look at the Terra Nova Northern Lite 2. It's a 4-season tent. Currently retails for around about £650. Although you can get bargains from if you shop about. Comes in a bag, transit bag, which is quite easy to get into. It's not one of those ones that you have to stuff things down the end of. It's quite spacious. It does fit all the gear in. You have 14 pegs, a one-piece pole system, and an inner and an outer tent, and these come joined together. The tent itself is a two-man tent. I found that it's quite roomy as a one-person. As a two-man, it might be a bit of a squeeze unless you're quite friendly. But I found it to be quite a roomy one-person tent. Weighs about 2.2 kilograms, so it's not a bad weight in comparison to some other tents. You could go quite a bit lower, but it is a 4-season tent, so for that weight, it's a good one-person tent. To put the tent up, place the tent in the position where you're going to want it. If it's a bit windy, like today, peg one of the ends down first, just so it doesn't blow away. Then we're going to assemble the pole system and pull the tent up. Because the tent is a freestanding tent, you can put it up, and once the poles are on it, you can move it about to suit. It's a bit gusty today, so what I'd recommend is that you put a couple of pegs in first, assemble the poles, get the tent up, and then you can make any minor adjustments that you want. So you've got these blue tabs with the grommets in them. These are the ones where the pole system will attach. One at either end. At either end you've got these blue tabs with the grommets in them. The poles will attach into one of these grommets. So we'll put this out, we'll give it a peg out, just lightly peg it, get the poles up, erect the tent, and then we can adjust it. Right, now we've secured the tent. I'm going to put the poles up, So you've got one long pole which runs down the ridge of the tent. At either end you've got a Y-shaped section. And across the middle you have a crossbar. The crossbar should be suspended above the main ridge pole. It can swing round to go underneath, so make sure that when you're actually putting it together, you put it on the top. Okay, once the pole system is in place, attach these hooks. Now at the top there's two hooks, one goes either side of that cross member, and then do the ridge. And then the side supports. Okay, once those are in place, we can peg out the rest of the tent. If you want to, at this point, this is where you would adjust the position. So you could move it around, you could physically just lift it, take it over there, put it in a different spot. But we'll continue to build this here. They recommend that you do the sides first, at the doors. And lastly, the guy ropes. The blue tab has got two eyelets on it, as you can see. The instructions don't actually designate which eyelet you're supposed to use, so I've went for the inner, which will probably give it a bit more tension. A nice storm flap there, secured with Velcro intermittently above the zip. It's just the same material as the guy lines for the zip pulls. Personally, I would replace them with something sort of glow in the dark, a bit more easy to see. Now this whole section can be opened up to give you quite a wide doorway. You can open it all up and you can get a really good view from it. As you can see, really good sized vestibule there. Got a lot of gear in that. And it's a roll closure with a tab and a loop to secure that in place. So you can get access to the tent like this, or as I say, you can open the whole thing up. The inner tent is secured using a series of loops and tabs which run along the ridge of the tent. Down the sides, they basically mirror the same pattern as the poles. There's a quick release system here which you can use to tighten up the inner tent. One thing I've found when I was using it was that having done that, tightened all this up, just found I would maybe like an attachment point, maybe in the middle, just for an extra bit of security. Here's a large one-piece door, which you could open like this, just leave it lying if you wanted, but the neatest and simplest way is to take it right round, scrunch it up, and it fits into the pocket over here. That gives you a clear access straight into the tent. Okay, inside, it's identical on both sides. So if you've got two people in here, both have got a door, both have got a vestibule. Pretty good that way. As a one person, as you can see, one person, pretty decent, spacious tent. You can get all your gear in, bit of a palace. There's enough headroom there. There is a lantern hanging point. I'd like it to be a loop rather than just this piece of fabric. But there is a lantern hanging point there. There's no overhead storage, no overhead pockets or anything, which is something that I do like. So there's only two pockets, one at each door, which if you're using that to store the door, then you won't get anything else in it. But plenty of vestibule space. These vents at either end just give you additional ventilation. They've got a bug net on them. It's not that you can get out there or use that as extra storage space, but it is just additional ventilation, and that rolls up in there and just attaches, same hook and loop system as before. All in all, quite a nice, spacious inside. Very little chance of the outer touching the inner tent, as you'll see. lots of room there in between. So there shouldn't be any problems with condensation. The fabric for the base, the bathtub base, isn't as robust. I mean, it's probably really good fabric, very light. I would probably use it with a footprint if I can get hold of one. All the stitching's good. Very little sign of any sort of rogue loose threads. There's one or two. But I was in an OEX tent the other day, and there was more loose threads than an Agatha Christie novel. All in all, pretty decent. I'm quite happy with that. Gripe. One gripe I do have, being right-handed, I find that I'm having to sit away forward to open the tent because both the fixings down there, the natural place to put them is at this closure, which I find would probably work better at this end. And that way you're always going to find the zip is handier if you want to look outside. Just for a quick squint out. I find that the natural place that I would put this end piece, where the two zips are probably going to end up most of the time, would be here. I found the other night, I was just sitting here and wanting to do that, and it's away over here, so yeah, I don't know. But if you're right-handed, I suppose lying on this side, it's going to be next to you. Found it. Apparently, to give the tent even more support, you can use your walking poles, and there's a sort of pocket up here where the top of your walking pole, the handle, would go in and give it that bit more rigidity. I'm not sure if I'd be keen on doing that. It reduces the entrance size because you're going to have a pole running right down here. You're not going to be able to, get in and out. You're having to squeeze past that. It may well make it a lot stronger. And if the winds are that high, you might want to think about doing that. But this has got a, when you open all this up, really good view outside. And I probably wouldn't want a pole just sticking up, blocking my view. Just to show you the other door configuration, so you undo this tab, take your peg out, you can put that back to there. Take this peg off as well. Take this one out. Roll that all the way back. and you get that big vista looking out of your tent. So if the weather's fine, yeah, by all means do that. The one thing I find that is missing is upper attachments, so you get this sort of halfway, this baggy appearance, whereas this bit just hangs. So if there was another attachment up here, which definitely is not, it would make it a lot neater, but again it would add to the weight. And just to show you the walking pole, how that works. That's it there. So it goes directly under there in this pocket. Provides, I mean, it is really quite secure. So if you found that you were getting battered with high winds, then that might well be a good option. Okay, putting those poles in has really improved the shape of the tent. A lot tighter. I've been looking at the tent and I'm saying there's something just not right with it. It seems a bit loose in some parts. Actually, it's well pegged out now. Poles are all in correctly, and the walking poles are now the only thing. I would say if you want to use this with walking poles, so I put the walking pole in at that side on the far away end. The walking poles that I'm using can only adjust down to a certain level. So what I found was I can get it in and get it sort of holding it up, but it won't stand up straight because it's just, this is too long. The shortest size on this pole is too long for that. So you need sort of extending poles rather than this type of pole, which is a more fixed pole. A few other things. The zip, two-way zips. You can open from the top down or the bottom up, which is quite good if you want to sit in the tent and have a peek out just to see what the weather's like without actually having to crawl down onto the deck. The one thing you do need to be aware is that when you're going to close that door down is that you don't grab both zips and find that you're opening the top as you think you are closing the zip. I suppose my least favourite feature is the pegs. Very secure pegs, difficult to damage, but that is just really sore on the hands when you're putting it in. And I'm finding having to cover it up with something, like, you know, if you've got a small hammer or something. The system that they use, there's a loop on there, fold the loop over and catch it in the notches. You can then put that in and then just use something to push it firmly into the ground. pack up the tent, reverse the process. So remove those inner poles, undo the pegs, lower the tent off the hooks, then pack up the pole system, take out your last pegs, pack all the way into the storage bag. It was around about this point that my microphone decided to pack in. And it's a silent movie that you're watching now. So if you make sure that when you're packing away, you roll up the guy lines, this means that I'm not going to be all tangled up when you go to unpack the tent again. So we just release the clips on the tent and take the pole system off. Then that can be folded up and packed away. And because the way the bag works, you're not having to stuff the tent in. It can be put in quite loosely, which is handy if there's a bit of a breeze. And always remember that once you've taken the tent back home, get it unpacked and make sure it's completely dry before packing it away for storage. So using some moss or leaves, give the pegs a wipe, take all the muck off them, and then they can be packed away. And that's it. Hope you found this video useful. Thanks for watching.